Today I'm going to take you step by step through the process of creating these absolutely adorable butterflies, perfect for all kinds of jewelry pieces. We'll start by making a cane originally developed by Lisa Pavelka, called the Smoosh cane, also known as the tie-dye cane. Then, with just a slight variation, I'll show you how to transform it into this stunning wing design. You don't need to be an expert at caning. This technique is super fun and surprisingly easy. If you're new to caning and want to give it a try, this is the perfect project for you. I can't wait to show you, so let's gather our materials and dive in. For this project, you'll need the following materials. Don't worry if you miss anything, I've included a detailed list in the description box below. You'll need a 1/4 block each of black, white, plum, and neon pink clay. I'm using Fimo Soft for this tutorial. A burnishing tool. I'm using a stainless steel soap bar, which works great as a burnishing tool. An acrylic rod for rolling out the clay. A butterfly shaped cutter. I'll be using my rock rose clay cutter, which includes drill hole guides. If you'd like to use the same one, it's available on my website. A fine-tipped chrome marker in gold, a tissue blade for precise cutting, a knitting needle for smoothing and detail work, deli paper for working with your clay, cardstock for baking your clay pieces, a texture mat for the back of your pieces. In this case, I'm using an air conditioner filter I picked up on Amazon, and finally, a glass surface with measuring guides to help when forming your cane. The first step is to condition the clay and roll each color into 9-inch logs, about 1/4 inch in diameter. Once that's done, I'll bring you back for the next steps. Now we're going to cut the logs into 8 equal pieces. I found the easiest way to do this is to line up all the logs, slice them into 4 equal sections first, and then cut each section in half. Now that we have our pieces cut, we're going to shape each log into a rhombus. To do this, use your index finger and thumb to gently pinch each side, forming the clay into a rhombus shape. These don't need to be absolutely perfect. The beauty of this cane is that it's very forgiving. I'll go ahead and repeat this with all of the other colors, and once I'm done, I'll bring you back for the next step. Start by taking 2 pieces of purple clay and stack them at their widest angle. It might feel a little wobbly in your hands. Then, grab a piece of white clay and press it into the V-shaped channel on either side of each purple piece. For this step, be sure to choose colors that are high in contrast. Next, add another piece of purple clay. It will still feel a bit wobbly, so add another piece of white clay on either side of the V-shaped channels. Now we'll add the last piece of purple clay and another piece of white on either side of it. When you're finished with this step, you should have a total of 4 purple rhombuses and 6 white rhombuses. Looking at the cane, you'll see a block of white on either side, with purple running down the middle. Now we're going to add pink into the V-shaped channel of the white clay. It will feel much more stable now that the cane has started to take shape. You'll need a total of 8 pieces of pink for this step. I had to stretch one of my pieces of pink clay just a little to make it long enough to fit into the block, so don't worry if you need to do that as well. It won't affect how the cane turns out. With the pink added, your cane should look like this. Pink on both sides, with the top view showing pink, white, purple, white, and pink. Now take the black clay and press it into the V-shaped channels of the pink. If you need to widen the channel slightly to make the black fit, feel free to do so. When you're done, you should have 6 pieces of black clay in your cane. When you look at the cane, you should see the purple in the middle, the white around it, the pink, and then the black. The side view should be all black, with the top showing the stripes of all the colors. Next, we're going to start smooshing the cane together and compressing it into a rectangular shape to reduce its size. I like to begin by using my hands to gently push the clay pieces together. Then I press it onto my tile using my palms. Right now my block is about 1.5 inches long. As I reduce the cane, I'll lift it from my work surface and stretch it. I'll keep repeating this process until the cane reaches an overall length of 7 inches. Now let's clean up the waste from the cane sides and see what it looks like inside. Next, we'll cut this into 4 equal lengths. The cane measures about 3/4 inches wide and 5 3/4 inches long. I find it easiest to cut the overall length in half first, then divide those segments in half. Now we're going to take the 4 pieces and align their patterns vertically. The purple clay from one piece should match up with the purple clay from the other. Once your 4 pieces are combined, it should look like this. Next, we'll compress this rectangle into a square shape and reduce it to a length of 7 inches again. I'll do this by squeezing, pressing against my work surface, stretching, and rolling to achieve this reduction. The goal is to have 6 inches of workable cane once the waste is trimmed away. Now we're going to begin transforming the original smoosh cane into something else. Let's start by trimming off the uneven ends on both sides of the cane. With an overall length of 6 inches, we want to cut our cane into 4 pieces again. I'm going to start by cutting it in half and then cutting those pieces in half again. The next step is to take 2 of the 4 pieces and align them with their patterns running vertically. Match the purple clay from one piece with the purple clay on the other. This will create 2 stacked rectangles. Repeat this process with the other 2 remaining pieces. Now, align the rectangles so their patterns run parallel to each other, forming a square. I did trim off that little bit of unevenness on the one side, and this is what it should look like at this point. Now we're going to reshape our square into a triangle. Begin by squeezing 2 corners in towards the center. Then push in the bottom point, bringing it towards the center, and leave one corner alone. I found it helpful to place the cane on my work surface and use that to help me push it into a triangle shape. Just take your time with this and enjoy the process. I promise you will love the results. Once we have the cane shaped into a triangle, reduce it in size until it has an overall length of 4 inches. I reduce the cane until it's slightly longer than 4 inches and the width is about 3/4 of an inch. Now what I'm going to do is take a cleanup cut. And here's what it looks like when we slice into the cane. For the backer clay, I used all the cane cutoffs along with the leftover rhombuses. I like this approach because it includes all the colors from the cane and creates a rich, dark purple. Now I'm going to run the backer piece through the pasta machine onto a setting number 3 and add some texture. And here it is with the back textured. I'm going to trim this down to a more workable size and place it on a sheet of deli paper. Now we're going to slice 6 pieces from the cane. The goal here is to make each slice as even in thickness as possible. I'm aiming for about 2 millimeters, but the main objective is consistency between the pieces. Next, we'll place the triangles tip to tip to form a trapezoid. I love how the black tipped points of the triangles look when lined up, especially for creating butterfly wings. But you can arrange them in any way you like. Then, carefully lift the trapezoid and place it on the backer clay. Go ahead and repeat this process to create a second trapezoid. Then carefully place it on top of the first trapezoid to form a hexagon. You might notice a small gap in the center where the pieces meet, but we'll blend it out in the next step. Now this is where we're going to use our knitting needle, and starting from the outside edges, roll the clay towards the center. This will push the clay into that empty spot and smooth all the seams in the process. I'm going to cut this piece off and use it later. Next, I'll place a sheet of deli paper over the hexagon and gently burnish it with my hands before switching to a stainless steel soap bar. There's no need to press hard here. The step is mainly to give the top surface a smooth finish. And here it is after burnishing. I love it. Let's remove the clay from the deli paper and place it on our work surface to prepare for cutting out the shapes. I'm positioning the pattern so that the top section will form the upper part of the butterfly wings, and the lower section will create the bottom half. Then I'll burnish it lightly to ensure it is secure before cutting. Before making my cuts, I'll dab my cutter onto a makeup sponge soaked with Armor All to prevent sticking. Then I'll position the cutter where I want the shape. Press down until it makes even contact with your work surface. Give it a little wiggle and lift to reveal your beautiful butterfly. Doesn't this look amazing? I just love it. I'll go ahead and cut out a few more, cure them, and bring you back for the final reveal. My pieces are out of the oven, and I've sanded the edges, as you can see. I've also applied a little Renaissance wax and gave them a nice polish. Now this is where I did deviate from my original plan. I was going to use this gold chrome marker to add some dots, but honestly, I love how they turned out just as they are. Here's a practice piece I did where I did add the dots. If you do decide to add the gold, be sure to either resin the surface or put some sort of protective coating on it. I also wanted to show you how this pattern looks when using my puffy isosceles cutter. These designs aren't just for butterflies. You can create so many different shapes. All the cutters I used today are available at rockroseclay.com, and you'll find links in the description box below. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today, and I'll see you next time.